Hey, everybody, welcome to Game Breaking News with me, Jeff Grubb, your host from GiantBomb.com. Thank you for tuning in. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Nintendo actually announcing a new Direct just 6 days before the Switch 2 Direct. We have Lucy James on the program, so you know it's going to be a good one. Let's get right into it by saying hello to said Lucy James Games. How's it going?
It is going well, thank you. I just want to give a shout out to past Lucy James because she really helped out present Lucy James when she was setting up her office yesterday.
Good job. Yeah, that's a big one. I always count on past and present Lucy James. I'm glad that you can also count on past Lucy James.
She labeled every single wire, every
Whoa.
single
Okay.
one, every
Okay. I
single
didn't know
one.
we were getting
And
that
so,
serious.
oh yeah. And then this is the first time I've had a camera like directly above my screen since maybe 2020, and it feels weird that I'm not like looking off to the side, but
Yeah.
we'll get
Looks
there.
looks good. What's the plans for decorating, getting everything set up in there? To be fair, it's not like there's an echo in there or anything. So,
Oh, I'm
uh,
using NVIDIA Broadcast, that's why.
oh, is that helping? Oh,
Uh
right. Listen,
it is, yeah, they just
can't even
updated it
tell.
and it is very good. Green wainscoting, cream top, nice comfortable chair is going in that corner, and at some point over the next couple of days I'm going to be putting my junk on these shelves.
You
Shout
were
out to the
you
Millers for giving me that junk, by the way.
Oh, fantastic. You were painting, right? This is a fresh paint job?
It is.
It looks great.
So thank you.
Yeah.
The one problem is that it was I painted this like a salmon pink, which there was a vision, and I'm totally fine in saying that the vision didn't work. But I've
Sure.
just kind of gone back to a nice cream. Someone's telling me to turn on the NVIDIA blink, no blink mode. Shall I do it?
Yeah, listen, I'll look away, but chat can't. So, yeah, that's fine with
Okay.
me.
Oh
Just
wait, I have to change it in here.
that's always a good
All right.
thing to
Uh-oh.
do to yourself as a lady on the internet is give yourself crazy eyes. I think that's what people like. So,
Oh,
yeah,
it just flat out breaks everything.
it did just
So
break everything. All
it
right.
just breaks everything. So I guess I can't.
Yeah,
And
I
this
wonder
is
if
a
it's
machine with a 3090 in. So
Hmm. All right. Well, you know what?
anyway,
We'll try the no blink next time, everybody.
yeah.
All right. Let's explain what we do here. Most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for game breaking news or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. I know we're working on that, everybody. New workflow. Okay, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning
Hey,
mess with
you didn't say it. You didn't say it. You didn't say it.
hello, YouTube. Thank you. Oh man, people do get mad if I forget to say it. So it's never
I was
actually been
getting
written
I was
down
getting
here.
mad because you didn't say it.
It's never been written down. I just, it just happens. And
What?
so, yeah, or if it is written down, it's not on this Wednesday doc. Anyhow, we have different
Mm.
docs for each day of the week. Everybody, a little behind the
That's how we
scenes
do, that's how we
peek.
do things over here.
That's how we do things over here. That's called efficiency. I don't think it is.
Mm-mm.
All right, let's get into some headlines. Lucy James, tomorrow it's been confirmed. Nintendo announced it. They're not really holding back in terms of like setting expectations even. I suppose they can do that because they do have Switch 2 Direct coming next week. But a Nintendo Direct is happening tomorrow. The Kenneth Shepard headline over at Kotaku reads, sounds like it could be the Switch's last hurrah. Don't know why it wouldn't be. I think the numbers on this, it'll start at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern. We will find
Why
some
do
way to
they
talk
hate
over
us?
this. Yeah,
Why
I
do they
know.
hate us?
7 a.m. Pacific time is like, man, just 1 hour later, and that's like actually kind of reasonable. 7 a.m. is
Well,
not.
their American offices in Seattle. I'm sure they love it.
Yeah, I wonder if they ever like try to like get him to moving around, and it's like, you're American, we don't care.
Yeah, probably.
So 30 minutes is the
Mm.
time we've been given, and of course they did say that there wouldn't be any Switch 2 stuff here. So that is as far as like the setting expectations, that's the one thing they have done. Beyond that, Nintendo doesn't go into any specifics about what games we might be seeing during the showcase. Usually the company says if a stream will be made up of third-party partner games rather than its own in-house projects, but it makes no such distinction here. So we may see some of Nintendo's last big Switch games before we move on to Switch 2. As far as we know, Nintendo is winding down first-party games for the Switch, but some big games like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and Pokemon Legends ZA are still coming to the console this year.
Mm.
So okay, there's been some other like developments recently, Lucy, that have like definitely thrown a little bit of muck in our understanding of what might be happening in which direct. There was a report a week or so ago that said there would be this big Metroid Prime 4 blowout. It would take up a lot of the spotlight in the Switch 2 Direct on April 2nd. Now we're
Mm.
hearing that from someone else that Metroid Prime 4 won't be in the Switch 2 Direct at all. So I'm thinking, and you tell me if this sounds right to you, that maybe there were some cross wires there, and Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a big thing in this Direct, and then
Mm.
maybe it gets a mention or something, or Nintendo refers to this Direct. It says all those games that are for Switch 1, yeah, they'll run great on Switch 2, and that's it. But Metroid Prime 4 is probably in this one, right?
Yeah, I hope it's in this one, just because yes, all eyes will be on the Switch 2 thing, but if you're talking about giving Metroid like a chance to have its flowers, you know, and also just like be the star of its own direct that a lot of people can be watching without having to compete with all the Switch 2 stuff. And then you get the good news a week later that hey, it is going to be able to come it will be playable on the Switch 2. I think that's great. Switch has an incredibly large install base. And hey, if Metroid is coming, you get to play it on either console, hopefully.
Yeah, I think they definitely have talked about it as a Switch 1 game up, until the very last minute. Their last earnings call, they like made a big deal about it being Switch 1. It is a Switch 1 game. I think the question up until this point has been, okay, does it become a cross-generational launch, like similar to the last couple or a handful of the last couple
Like
couple of
Zelda
Zelda
and
games? Yes, Breath of the Wild and Twilight Princess. Those came out the end of one generation, launched on both essentially as dual SKUs. Is that going to
mm.
happen here? Or is this going to be, as I theorized on, I think this show, or maybe it was a bombcast somewhere, that maybe this becomes the poster child for here's how a Switch 1 game is going to be improved on Switch 2. That could still happen, although
Ooh.
if they're not going to talk about it in the Switch 2 Direct, and they're not going to mention Switch 2 here, are they going to make a big deal out of that? I kind of don't see why they wouldn't. They did, they want you to go into the store, buy a
Mhm.
Switch 2, especially if you're someone who's elapsed as a Switch gamer, because there's a lot of people out there who enjoyed the Switch, but they're not like me where they're like, oh, Nintendo, I just like Nintendo. They're like, oh, I liked some of those games. I like the Switch when it felt fresh and new. It's felt old for a hell of a long time now. I
Yeah.
kind of want to be excited about something new. So I have not bought a lot of Switch games recently. So I'm going to go in the store. I'm going to get the Switch 2. I'm going to get the new Mario Kart because everyone's just going to get that. It's the law.
Mhm.
And then what else do I want to get there? Well, Metroid Prime 2 or Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is just waiting for you on the
Yeah.
shelf. And I think anything that you can tell yourself about, oh, well, like this will take advantage of, up the upscaling technology on the Switch 2, and it runs at a higher, more steady frame rate, although I expect this game to run just fine on Switch 1. Anything you could say to yourself, bless you, Jan, is
Oh,
going to help. I think so.
I was terrified. I was like,
I
who's in
don't.
your house?
I don't know if chat can hear him actually, so I might just sound like a crazy person. But anything you can tell yourself when you're going to buy these games, especially for like a cross-gen, a game like this, or a last-gen game, I should say. We don't know if it's cross-gen,
Mm.
is going to help it. So I'm still very curious about how they position this thing. Although in this moment, it does seem like they're going to be like Metroid Prime 4 rules on its own merits, and you should just go get it because it's going to be a good game.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, I'm just excited for more Nintendo stuff at this point. My Switch has been gathering dust for. Do you know the last game I think I played on my Switch?
Oh, I'm curious. I have no idea.
Red Dead Redemption.
Well, that's fucking weird. that's I would not have guessed that. I would,
Yeah,
but
right?
yeah, but I guess that was interesting to see that on the Switch. Although that
It
was one
ran
where,
great.
yeah, no, I mean it should better run great. It's an older game. It's a
Yeah.
Xbox 360 game,
It is
PS3.
360. It was May 2010 that game came
Yeah,
out.
and
It's
then
why I bought my Xbox 360. It was for Red Dead.
I
Fun fact.
in terms of what else people might be able to expect from this Nintendo Direct, you know, Pokemon.
Silksong. Give people a crumb. Go on.
Everybody still thinks that, and if not here, where else? I guess it could be in the Switch 2 one. It could be anywhere. Um, I think there's no reason to assume like this one makes more sense than anything else. So if you want to be skeptical, sure, go ahead. And at the same time, it's like this feels like all the eyes will be on Nintendo for these next two directs. So if you are a game that is coming out soonish, and that game, there's been a lot of like movement on that game recently, tiny little movement, but there's a lot of it. It's voluminous. Um, it's like, okay, if that game is ready to go, what showcase like if you could choose any showcase to be in, the Nintendo Direct just is the biggest one because you can get excitement from, and I've said this before, from PlayStation and Xbox, or PlayStation, and Xbox and PC gamers, sort of just by getting out there in the news cycle and making your announcement. Nintendo gamers are a little bit more siloed off to the side and don't pay as much attention. If you can get into a Direct, you'll get their attention immediately, and then that also gets everyone else's attention. So it's the place to be. So I get that, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to get people's hopes up anymore. That game's not real. I think that's where we've settled on it.
Wait, did anyone pick it for Fantasy Critic? I don't think they did.
I don't know if they've. Maybe at this point, maybe. They haven't, I'll go pick it real quick. Other than that, there's a Fire Emblem game that Nintendo. It's a remake, I think, of Genealogy of the Holy War, which is a Super Nintendo game.
Was that was a Japan only one?
Japan only. It's never been localized for the West at all. And so it's like, okay, that's been finished for going on like 2 years now. It's been a long time. It's just been sitting there. So does it pop off here, or I don't know how Nintendo thinks about these sorts of things. Like, does it make more sense to announce it now and launch it and risk it kind of getting lost in the shuffle of people getting more excited about things that are Switch 2 exclusive? Or do you save it and be like, that is going to be for Switch 2 instead? That Fire Emblem game certainly probably doesn't need Switch 2.
No.
So, and then there was been rumors of a new Mario sports game, this time baseball. There is they had that story. Nintendo Switch 2 logos are going to be on the shoulder of Seattle Mariners players for this Major League Baseball season. Yeah.
Did you see the New York? Like there was a big Switch 2 thing in New York.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I opened up Blue Sky and I didn't save it.
This is like a
big sign.
Okay, in Times Square.
Yeah. I think so. Switch 2 New York.
That we're right there for that Direct. So the advertising kicking in feels right, and all of the rumors right now, and it sounds right to me. June is kind of when this thing is probably coming. At this point, that's what everyone is saying, and I tend to agree. And so that as soon as we get out of this Direct, the marketing campaign will be in full effect because it'll be the beginning of April. And let's say like this goes all the way through the end of June. They launch it to give themselves a little bit of time. That's 2 full months. And
let me head down to Union Square.
That's 3 months, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Union Square, baby. Get that that new Nintendo store that I still cannot believe is happening in San Francisco.
That's
all the places, San Francisco.
Yeah, that's I'm excited for y'all. I'm gonna definitely visit that. Nintendo stores.
I was gonna say, I'm about to become so popular.
Yes.
for the all of the exclusive stuff. I've already had Jordan Middler. Had him.
But are they even going to have a lot of Pokemon stuff there?
No, but they have exclusive stuff for the store in general.
Okay.
Like the Pokemon store in Shibuya was, oh my god, like everything was sold out. Like basically an opening, like it was ridiculous. So
it's going to be the same for that store. But hey, better to have a store than no store at all. And again, those things are
please save downtown San Francisco.
Yeah, and they do a good job, just like making those places a fun place to go and visit. Any like other games I'm like thinking of that could show up here? I don't know.
We thinking like third party.
There will be yes. I'll say, God, I wonder how I can phrase this. The reason I heard about a Direct originally is because of a partner game. And I think that when we get out of this Direct, no matter like what is the most exciting game, there will be one game that causes the most conversation, and it won't be about Nintendo necessarily. That's all I can say. I'm sorry for teasing it, but I know. I'll tell you when we're done.
All right.
Here. I'll tell you. But yeah, it's because it's happening tomorrow. So if it all goes down the way I think, we'll see. All right.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
okay. No, I
Oh,
don't. No, I don't want. I don't want to play the guessing game. All
yeah,
right,
it's
talk about.
that's never fun for old Jeffy. Yeah, let's see. I'm looking at chat now to see if anyone has any other guesses for what they want to see. Um, I don't know. Like, is there any other franchise? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like a weird franchise from Nintendo comes back, like an Excite Bike or I don't know, something along those lines. We could see something like that, but they're not going to have. It would have to be a lot of these games that have just kind of been cooking for a long time. Anything that was in development in the last 2 years almost certainly was getting ready for the Switch
Yeah.
too. And at one point, they were going to be really were going to do a Switch Pro. So they probably were making a lot of games with that thing in mind, and maybe they were holding on to some of these because of that. So
Mm.
we'll see.
Mm.
Looking forward to it, though. We will talk over it one way or another, everybody. Oh, thank you, Mike Minotti. Metroid Prime 2. Yes, Metroid Prime 2 and 3, those remasters are also done in a similar way to Fire Emblem. So they're not as big of a remaster as Metroid Prime 1 was, but still, that would be very cool to get those games with dual analog stick controls on Switch 1. They should run really good on that system. So I'm hoping we get at least 2, but boy, I wouldn't be surprised if they just say, "Hey, here's 2, and then a week later you can get 3 or something like that," or just
Mm.
maybe drop them as a bundle all in one go. And then, of course, everyone always wonders about Zelda, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker HD. Been on Wii U. I do they have anything else Zelda announced for this year? They always want to do one Zelda thing per year, and
I
I
don't
don't.
think so.
They had the Zelda game, the Zelda game last year, and
Mm.
so I don't think they have anything announced for this year. If they have a gap, that thing could pop off, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know at this
If
point.
they have a gap.
Yep, they have not had a gap so far, so I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's keep going here. Game Informer returns after being shut down by GameStop. This is from Sophie McAvoy at gamesindustry.biz. Game Informer has returned after being shut down by GameStop in August 2024. We wanted to talk about this on the Bombcast yesterday, everybody, but they just took a little bit longer to get the official announcement out there and actually launch the website. The website's been getting a lot of attention. I've been trying to register. I can't even register because
Wow.
it's like getting so much traffic. In a letter from editor-in-chief Matt Miller, he revealed that the publication had been purchased by Gunzilla Games, which is, they're a Web3 company. But we've talked to some of the Game Informer people, and they've said we're independent. Like they're not gonna, they, of course they say this, but I believe it so far. It could always change. But I believe that they're going to be independent. And the good news is like everyone working there got a pretty good pay raise, and
They're back. They're all back.
they all are all
Oh.
rehired. It is such overall a feel good story. And we'll talk about. I got another story right after this about GameStop's plans. Sure, like we don't have to do a competition for what's like less evil, but it's not like they were completely free from interference before, in terms of like working for a terrible company. But Gunzilla, I have really didn't know much about them other than people saying they're, it's a kind of a Russian Web3 company, but they're giving money to Game Informer to get back up and running. And I think in the end, the magazine's just going to be its own business that will have to justify itself. And it sounds like they also have a couple years to build up that business. So it's not
Okay.
like they have to like begin churning out a profit immediately. And if they don't, they're all screwed again. So having some runway, having their jobs, getting a raise, that's a bunch of green lights to me. And I'm just happy for everybody over there. I can't wait to subscribe to the magazine again.
Sorry, and like a massive thing just fell over and there was a bunch of paint on it. So riff.
Okay,
I gotta make sure I
you
didn't drop
go.
any paint.
Yes, paint shouldn't fall. That's my opinion on paint. As far as Game Informer coming back, I do think that we will probably get the magazine here in the next couple of months. I can't imagine what it's like to be like, all right, we're taking over printing this magazine all entirely ourselves. So like, what is the actual process
Good.
of making that happen? Although I bet they do have a lot of experts on that team that have done that for a long time. So if anyone can figure it out, it's them. But boy, I would not want to be in the business of having to like, okay, let's release and ship a print magazine around the United States all by ourselves right now. I guess they might even ship around the world. So that's a big undertaking.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm very happy for everyone that they're back. Talking to Alex tomorrow, kind of understanding more about what their goal, their mission is. It's just the company does give me pause, but I think it's just
Sure.
because been burned by so many private companies like Projekt
Yes.
Ventures or something.
You know, I mean, to be fair though, they're not private equity. It is just like
Yeah, that's true.
it's a business, a different kind of business. Not that that
Yeah,
makes it a good
like,
business.
and that's the thing. Like, them being separate, it just means that hey, if Web3, if Bitcoin, if that all implodes, I want Game Informer to be separate and
Yep.
not be impacted by the whims of that
Exactly.
market.
But they were previously under a company called GameStop, who closed them
Not
down.
us. Not
Yes,
us.
not GameSpot. They were under GameStop, which plans announced yesterday had its earnings call. Announced plans to buy a bunch of Bitcoin as it closes even more stores. So it's not like it was all roses over in the other
Oh
place
no.
beforehand. It was, this is
Yeah.
also Web3 bullshit now. That's the plan for GameStop. This is from Ethan Gotch at Kotaku. GameStop might be dying, but thanks to its unprecedented good fortunes as a meme stock, it still has a whopping $4 billion in cash reserves. The video game retail chain announced this week it now has a plan for what to do with it. Plow it into Bitcoin. GameStop today announced that its board has unanimously approved an update to its investment policy to add Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. The company wrote in a press release published on March 25th. We have not set a maximum amount of Bitcoin we may accumulate and may sell any Bitcoin we may acquire, it added in a subsequent SEC filing. The cryptocurrency is currently trading at $87,000, just off its historic $105,000 peak set back in January. So this is just them being like, we're going to become the Berkshire Hathaway of not NFTs, but of cryptocurrency. So they're going to kind of become a holding company. They do say like the retail business, making the retail business profitable is the other part of the strategy, but they did number it. And the number one part of their strategy is this cryptocurrency stuff. And then number two was the retail stores. And like the retail stores are dying and they will continue to die. But this is going to be this business is going to transform into something unrecognizable and kind of sounds like a nightmare to me. This is a company now run by Ryan Cohen, who is also a nightmare. Dude sucks. I don't know if anyone's ever seen his tweets, but he's a sniveling little weirdo, and he's kind of trying to turn this into the hip kids Berkshire Hathaway, which is a weird thing. It probably won't work. But at the same time, Bitcoin has just only ever bounced back when it's gone down. So it probably will make them a lot of money. I don't know. But you think we have GameStops? Okay, actually, here's a good one. Dan posted this on Blue Sky. He mentioned this before when I talked to him. What do you think lasts longer at this point? GameStop retail stores or Game Informer, this new magazine?
Game Informer, the new magazine.
Yeah.
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 Ugh. Yeah. I mean, GameStop, it just seems that they've been trying to get out for so long. I just don't see them. I don't know.
I mean, they're closing stores really fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's like a couple left in San Francisco, which I'm still amazed by in the Bay Area because, God, the cost of rent and everything. But everyone's going digital. So I don't know.
Yeah, I went to go get a haircut a few weeks back, and
At your local GameStop.
Well, basically, it's the only time I walk into a GameStop because it's right next to the Great Clips that I go to. I think everyone could tell by my haircut. And I went this time, and it was closed. I had no idea it was closing. It was disappeared.
It just went one day.
It just went one day. Yeah, and it's I don't know where the next nearest one even is. I know some like local mom and pop shops and sort of these regional chains that are trade-in stores that do a lot of retro games. We got a handful of those, but I don't know where the next closest GameStop is to me. It's and it's not like whenever I would go in there.
Quite a few up here.
I mean, yeah, they had tens of thousands of stores or something like that. Like they had tons of stores, and so it's going to take a long time for them to burn through all of that.
Yeah,
and they're probably each year they probably what do they cut off the stores the 10% that makes the least amount of money or something like that, and eventually they'll just do that until there's basically nothing left.
Nothing left. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Let's do this next one right here. This is a fun one. Ubisoft scores a ratio against Elon Musk on his own platform, which hopefully marks the end to all this Assassin's Creed Shadows culture war nonsense. This is from Harvey Randall at PC Gamer. Assassin's Creed Shadows has landed some solid success on online storefronts and an overall decent critical reception. PC Gamer's own Morgan Park gave it an 80 in his review, which is none too shabby. To celebrate, Ubisoft has gone from avoiding treading on eggshells to getting its biggest, chunkiest eggshell stomping boots and marauding through an eggshell field while laughing uproariously, scoring one of the biggest ratios I think I've ever seen on social media. For context, Ubisoft has found itself in the unenviable position of being caught in the midst of an ongoing culture war over whether video games are woke or not. Blah, blah, blah. Woke is this and blah, blah, blah. This time they were bristling over the inclusion of, and this is the people who are anti woke, they were bristling over the inclusion of historical black samurai Yasuke. Never mind that over the top historical fiction is the series' whole thing. Leonardo da Vinci, you'd be surprised to find out, never built a working tank, nor the fact that Yasuke and characters inspired by him have both popped up repeatedly in Japanese anime and video games. Ubisoft's, basically what happened here, everybody, is um, Ubisoft is marketing their game, and they paid Hassan over on Twitch to play the game, and Hassan promoted it. And I think originally Grums, who's a shithead chud, what was like, oh, they're paying a guy who platforms terrorists to promote their game, and Ubisoft responded to that by saying our game is out because Mark Kern Grums has been apparently working on a game for 8 or 9 years, and no one's ever seen anything of it, or if they have, it looks like AI bullshit. And so that was a pretty good one. And the response to that was Grumps had a few thousand likes, and the Assassin's Creed account on Twitter had over like 100,000 likes the last time I looked. And then Elon Musk got in and basically just said that Hassan is a sellout and called him a bunch of other names. And the Assassin's Creed account responded to that by saying, "Is that what the guy who plays on your Path of Exile 2 account told you?" And it's like, okay, and that's referring back to everyone finding out. I don't know how they didn't know that Elon Musk was paying someone to play his accounts for games like Path of Exile and Diablo to put him in the top 10 of like the highest scoring accounts. I don't even know how you play those games for a score in the first place, but whatever. The highest scoring accounts in those games, and he never really played it, and it was pretty obvious when he streamed it and didn't know what he was doing. So Assassin's Creed kind of like going head first into this. Did it backfire? It doesn't seem like it did. If anything, it has kind of revealed that people are officially sick of this culture war bullshit coming into every single game. And the ratio for this one, which is like when someone posts something kind of like pointed, and then someone else replies to that and gets a lot more likes. Well, this definitely did. It has like 500,000 likes now. Assassin's Creed's response to Elon Musk. I think it's I don't know. I want to like believe it could be a turning point of people just being like, all right, you know what? We did just get hoodwinked. But I know it won't be that, but I want to believe that this is a sign of the fever breaking a little bit, Lucy. Do you think there's a
Mm.
chance of that, or is this just like a moment we should just enjoy and try to move on from?
As someone who has been gloriously offline a lot of the last few weeks, I can't tell you how much better it is for your mental health to not be
Yep.
online, everyone.
Yeah, and
I
it's
don't know.
especially Twitter. Like that. This is the first time I've
Yeah,
logged
I'm
into
out.
Twitter in a couple days, and it
I'm
was like
out.
kind of. I was like, at least this felt good, but then you get 5 feet away from this, and it's still a nightmare.
Yeah, everything is a nightmare. Protect your peace. Be offline if you want to be. I mean, just enjoy games. Like Dan put it in chat. Just enjoy games and just play them. Seriously,
They,
that's what I've been doing. That and
yeah,
painting.
yep. The people that are in this culture war, they don't play games at all. Like this is just a fertile ground for them to get people angry about something so that they can get engagement or get recruits for their white nationalist groups. Like that's really what it is over and over again. So yeah, they are never going to go play games. They never liked games in the first place. And then the people who do get hoodwinked, it does seem like they are finally turning away, at least in this moment, for this one situation. But yeah, it was very embarrassing for Elon Musk. And I hope he can still feel that, or if the ketamine has killed his ability to feel that, that would be a real shame. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, more to talk about, including maybe Mortal Kombat remasters and when is The Witcher 4 and Intergalactic going to launch? No time soon. We'll talk about that right after this. All right, everybody. It's okay. Janice apologized for the sneeze. Just don't let it happen again. No bodily
How
functions on
dare.
this show.
Nice, Ron. Oh, I'm not allowed to sneeze? I'm just There's a classic. There was a Vine where like a couple are looking at this beautiful deer and the guy just lets out like a Jan-ass sneeze and scares the deer away and the woman just goes, nice, Ron.
All right. Mortal Kombat remasters are just a matter of time, according to Ed Boon. This comes from Marcus Persson over at Game Reactor. More than 30 years have passed since we were first introduced to Raiden, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Kano, and all the other merry combatants in Ed Boon and John Tobias's Blood Knuckle Sandwich, or Bloody Knuckle Sandwich, I guess it says. A lot has happened since then, not least the soft reboot that took place with Mortal Kombat 1 launch the other last year. Was that? Yeah, I think that was last year. But for the other two creators, not the least Ed Boon, it's not all about renewal. And according to him, there is a strong desire to return to the series' roots. Something he also talked about in an interview with Cleveland Gaming Classic, where Boone mentioned that remastering older titles is only a matter of time. When did the Cleveland Gaming Classic happen? I didn't go to this.
Yeah, what's this?
I need to go to this apparently, and something he really wants to realize. Basically, he wants to make some remasters. I would love it if we could just revisit some of those moments with the latest technology. Remasters, another action adventure game. There's great opportunities for that. One day the stars are going to align, and we're going to make that happen. And I
in
think
September? When did this
September.
happen?
Man, okay. I wonder why it's just getting transcribed now. I think I did go to it in September. Mike can remind me. Oh, Mike went, I think, and I couldn't make it happen. So yeah, I think that this is something that we're probably hearing about because it's not happening. Like if he was working on this stuff actively, or if it was even like in the planning phase, it probably would be the kind of thing where he would be a little bit more coy about it. Him saying he wants to do it.
Someone from Warner Brothers with like a red dot sight would.
Yes, exactly. And even himself, like, he does like the tea stuff, but he doesn't, he's usually, he's more coy about it than this usually. So I would like to see this, but I don't expect it anytime soon. What form would you want a remaster of Mortal Kombat to take? Would you want it to be like, hey, remake the first two games, but with the exact modern technology, or something where it's like HD 2D? You're a huge Mortal Kombat head. Come on.
What about me says I'm a Mortal Kombat head?
And you're the most violent person I know.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
No,
it's all right.
I don't really play Mortal Kombat. I think collective time I have played Mortal Kombat is probably like 10, 15 minutes. Hey, I'm all about game preservation as long as those original games are still available to play. In terms of Mortal Kombat, if people are wanting that kind of modernization of controls and stuff, I don't know. For me, it's that weird one where it's like, are people asking for this, or is this a stopgap between your next mainline release that's going to take 4 or 5 years to make?
Yeah, I don't know if people are really like clamoring for it because if you want to play Mortal Kombat 1, 2, the trilogy, those games hold up because they are the exact kind of nostalgia bait where they're timeless in their own way. They have that '90s rotoscoped ugliness to them. That isn't really ugly. It's fascinating to look at.
Dan Reichert clamors for it. He said.
Okay, Dan Reichert clamors. I don't.
Dan, what do you want?
Yeah, Dan, what do you want? Because do you want Mortal Kombat 2 remade with the same visual style that they're using now for the Mortal Kombat games? Because I don't want to lose the rotoscoping.
Because what was the Street Fighter one that came out? The one that what's his face did that great video where he's like screaming at the
Maximilian Dude.
Yeah,
because he did that for MVC2, Marvel vs. Capcom.
That was
2.
it.
But he does
love
that for
video.
a lot of the announcements, and it's always very charming.
Pure joy. Have you seen it where someone put the Mario Party trailer over it and it matches
I've seen a lot of those. They're all very
perfectly.
Good. Yes,
it's like
fantastic.
Peach going up the escalator and he just goes, made me cry laughing. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, you say you only played it for 10, 15 minutes. Obviously, that does include the hours you've spent on Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero. And he does mention an action adventure game. Do you think there's a chance they could like retell the story of early Mortal Kombat games with a new action adventure game? Do you think that anyone wants that?
Hey, maybe. I don't know. This is just one of those things to me where it's like gaming is just so focused on the past because everything is so screwed up towards looking to the future.
Oh, for sure.
And so I really don't know. Mortal Kombat is not a cultural touch point for me. I think, hey, as long as they do it justice, as long as they do it, I mean, but also you've got interest in the series, so they're not going to have a mainline game in time for the next movie to come out. Wait, that's the one bit of Mortal Kombat media that I have consumed. I actually did really enjoy that movie. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Which movie? The original one or the one
The
recent?
2021.
I turned that off halfway through.
I went to the cinema. I had a little wine. It was great. Well, you see, my love is gonna be in this one. Karl Urban is gonna be in this one.
Yeah, okay, that's right. He plays Kano. That's pretty good.
I thought he was playing Johnny Cage.
Oh no, you're right. He plays Johnny Cage. That's right. I think I just assumed because of his cultural heritage there that he'd be Kano, and I apologize because that's not even the right. He's from New Zealand, right? And Kano's from Australia.
It's one of them.
I think that's right.
But I mean, hey, never forget all of my almost human heads out there, the 10 of us who watched that show. Was it Almost Human? The one with the wall? Did you see this?
No.
This show?
The one with the wall, pretty sure that was Game of Thrones.
That game. Almost Human TV show. Yeah, it was Almost Human, where he played a cop who hates androids, but then his partner was an android.
Oh, I did watch that show.
And then at the end of the season, they revealed there was a massive wall, and no one knew what was on the other side of the fucking wall, and then it got cancelled.
Yeah, I remember this now. Yeah, that was Karl Urban's great. I like him mostly because occasionally someone who is being overly kind will say I look like Karl Urban. I'm like, yeah, hey. That's wrong, but thank you. All right, let's keep going here. Jason Schreier has said that neither The Witcher 4 or Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet will be released in 2026. This is from Jonas Mackey at Game Reactor. The two possibly heaviest announcements during the Game Awards were The Witcher 4 and Naughty Dog's new Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. So will we get to play them in 2026?
Was that a Beastie Boys?
Not a very good one. No, few of us expected that, and now a real heavyweight is joining the chorus. More specifically, Bloomberg journalist Jason Schreier, known for countless scoops in the gaming world, writes via Reset Era that what we have seen so far have been very early teases. This in turn means that neither of those games will be out next year. And as soon as that like headline got posted, I got messaged from a source saying, I didn't know that this is people thought could happen. Yeah, these definitely aren't coming out next year. And then I think we got some details from CD Projekt Red that said don't even expect The Witcher 4 before 2027. No. And I think I was not expecting that one anytime soon. So that sounds right to me.
Yeah, sounds totally right to me. I think Witcher 4 only just went into full production. Was in the earnings yesterday. Like, I don't know. Naughty Dog loves to release a console swan song. So,
well, is it even this console? Like, if it comes out,
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
it's either it's like
the next console or it's the swan song for PS5.
If it's 2027, that probably is still PS5. Because PS5's so PS6 probably is 2028 at the earliest, I would think at this point, because we did get a Pro.
We did get a Pro.
But that okay, they made it if that's the case. But even if they do, that means they went an entire generation and just barely got one game out for the PS5 from Naughty Dog. One new game.
I was gonna say we got a bunch of whatchamacallums,
remasters and remakes.
Remasters.
Yeah. We're just talking about that. Those are definitely I like remasters and remakes, so I'm not really complaining. But we know we know what's happening there. It's what you said. They're stopgaps. They fill in these crevices between releases. Crevice was a weird word to use, but I did it. It fills the crevs. And I sure. And that keeps people employed, right? Because they have something to do while, the creative leads at the company take years figuring out what the next game looks like. And so this being a very early tease means a lot of that studio is probably just now being activated to work on that project, full time. So yeah, years and years away.
The way you said activated to work on that project makes me feel like a Cylon. Like,
they're just human resources. That's what they are. That's what we all are.
No, they're called the people team now. don't
Oh,
call them
really?
human resources anymore.
Oh shit, is that a thing? I've never heard that term. Okay, a
That's
people
that's
team.
it in fandom. They call it the people team.
I don't read what's our resource thing called convalescence, con- concurrent
Confluence.
confluence.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got a thing the other day where it was like, hey Lucy, you haven't checked in on Confluence in a while. I was like, yeah, because the only reason I go in there is to see when the holiday is.
Yeah, it's like that's the
I
one
don't know.
time I checked that thing. All right. Yeah, 2026, no way for either of those. Maybe
No.
2027 for intergalactic. Or
Intergalactic.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard to
exactly.
do. I'm sorry for
Right.
taking the piss.
No, it's no. I'm actually bad at it too, so that's fair. Okay, but more going on with CD Projekt Red. Witcher Dev is partnering with the company that now owns Pokemon Go, Scopely. This is from Eddie McHugh at
Mm.
GameSpot. CD Projekt has signed a deal to work with Pokemon Go owner Scopely to make a game based on one of the Polish company's franchises. CD Projekt made the announcement during its latest financial briefing, but didn't elaborate much on the deal. In fact, they were asked for more details from an investor or someone who represents investors, and the leadership there over at CD Projekt Red just said, "Nope, no thanks. We're not going to say any more." So this is an early deal. Scopely is owned by Savvy Group. It's which is owned by the largest corporation in the history of mankind, Saudi Aramco, or really the family that owns Saudi Aramco, the Saudi royal family. And so yeah, this is a Saudi Arabian sort of company now that a lot of companies are working with. And Scopely, if you're trying to like place where you've heard that name, they've been making mobile games for a very, very long time. Most recently, they've had the breakout hit $1 billion a year game Monopoly Go. So they have a lot of money to throw around. Whether or not that turns into a success for a Witcher game from Scopely, I don't know. Or I guess we don't even know if this is a Witcher game. I guess it could be Cyberpunk. They're just saying it's a property owned by or controlled by CD Projekt Red, being made by Scopely. So, what do you
Ew.
expect here?
I mean, also Jan just posted that Niantic is letting go of 68 or so people from San Francisco in particular, because all
Well,
this
the
shit is
most
coming.
the largest company in
Yeah.
the history of mankind
From
can't afford.
electricity to internet.
Oh yeah.
SF
Well,
Gate, Jesus Christ, what the hell was that? Anyway,
wow.
yeah. So, in terms of what game, like a Witcher style, Pokemon Go, walking around, attacking monsters, I could see it.
Sure. But they've tried that a bunch of times now, and it just hasn't worked with Harry Potter. I don't think it works with Witcher any better.
What about Cyberpunk, walking around and hacking
I mean, it doesn't even have to
the
be,
planet?
this doesn't have to be a Niantic game either. It could be the Monopoly Go, but Witcher version. I mean, it could be something else completely different. They have given us no details. We're just kind of like grasping in the dark because it's this company working with that company, and then they haven't said anything else. So, the reality is, I probably never think about this again. Even if it comes out, gets announced, I probably will barely even notice because it's just not the kind of game that I'm into. You're muted, Lucy. I'm not hearing you anymore. Yeah, no problem. Take your time. Get that fixed up. But I think in the meantime, why don't we keep moving? Monster Hunter Wilds Title Update 1 has a release date and loads more details. Title Update 2 is set for summer 2025. This is from Wesley Yenpool at IGN. Capcom has announced Monster Hunter Wilds Title Update 1 comes out on Thursday, April 3rd Pacific time. This is a weird way to phrase it. It comes out on Thursday, April 3rd in America, I guess, and then April 4th in the UK. Essentially, they're saying UK time, but they don't actually give a time. In a showcase video below, Capcom confirmed the release date as well as what players can expect from Monster Hunter Wilds' first major post-launch update. The headline here is The Grand Hub, a new gathering place in which players can interact in new ways. Here you can play a new minigame called Barrel Blowing, which sounds like a Donkey Kong 64 minigame, and listen to the diva perform at night. Visit Sune, a Leviathan monster with dangerous bubbles, hits Monster Hunter Wilds with Title Update 1, alongside a Zoa Shia quest, Arch-Tempered Raydaw. Yeah, I think that's how you say that. Arch-Tempered Raydaw launches later via an event quest. Overall, what's really happening here is they're gonna have a bunch of new content, and they will likely make the game more difficult for a lot of the fans who have said, hey, I like this game a ton. It plays really well. It's super fun. I just wish it was more difficult or it was more challenging. And I think a lot of that stuff will come in these updates. So Yay for Monster Hunter Wilds players. I want to get back in there. Lucy James, are we back? No. No? What? Okay. It stopped out of nowhere. Well, you know what? We can probably get through the rest of this stuff. And if you come back, just yell at me and let me know. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble unleashes Pac-Man in pellet-filled DLC crossover. This is from Chris Scullion at VGC. They're just putting Pac-Man in a ball, which is where he belongs. They're doing this for his 45th anniversary. All right. We
Oh,
lost
that
Lucy
didn't
there
work.
for a second. Oh, wait. Are you back?
Good.
I hear you. Do you hear me? Oh, must
Yeah,
lose
but
that.
now you don't have my. Hang on, let me.
It's only one thing working at it. Oh, I see. Okay, there we go.
Well,
Uh,
this
Put
is
the
how
camera.
we will do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
no, my mic
right.
just completely died.
What died?
My mic.
Yeah, it just seems like it just cut out with no warning. It didn't make a sound or anything. That was bizarre. Huh.
Weird. I'm blaming
Yeah,
SM8. Oh yeah, and now also all of my like is it a USB thing? Like cuz my light just died too.
yeah, it could
Interesting.
be.
All right.
Do
Well,
you have everything going into a hub or anything? Is it did it get bumped? Power?
don't think so.
Well,
Hmm.
you know what?
Anyway.
That's this is working just fine. Um, did you keep up with Monster Hunter Wilds? Have you? Yeah, I kind of fell off.
I'm not a
Although,
Monster Hunter person, sadly.
yeah,
Um
I'm gonna try it. I think with this update, kind of go back and I want to just finish the campaign at least. I think, and then we'll see if I get into any of this new stuff. And then I don't know if you heard, but they're putting Pac-Man inside of a ball and putting him in Super Monkey Ball, and that's how they're celebrating his 45th anniversary.
is he just not a ball already though?
He is kind of already a ball. That's like a very good point.
Yeah.
It's kind of perverse when you think about it.
Yeah, it's like you know when you have you ever seen those in Japanese grocery stores where they put bananas in like plastic wrap?
Yeah, which I
Yeah.
like. Even
Mm.
though I know I get what's happening there. They're putting a wrap on a thing that already has a wrapper.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's, like Pac-Man, it is also a living thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, I like looking at this mostly because I really like Super Monkey Ball and I do like Pac-Man. So that's interesting. Pac-Man, not one that has kept up his cultural cachet, right? Like that is I think that there's a strong chance I show my kids Pac-Man, and they're like, maybe he like was referenced in a like Wreck-It Ralph movie or something like that, and maybe they'll be like, I guess I saw
The
him
what
there.
was the Ben Stiller one?
Oh, Pixels,
Yeah. Yep.
or is
Yep. Yep.
that wait, or is that Adam Sandler, or is it both?
Oh, Adam Sandler. It was one of them.
Yeah,
I think it was Sandler.
okay. Okay,
Thank
yes,
you,
our
Janet.
Adam Sandler expert was here. Thank you very much, Janet Choa. Um, yeah, okay, fair enough. Pac-Man, though, I'm not hip with the kids these days. That's fine. Things don't have to last forever.
Yeah.
All right, there was one other thing someone sent over here. PlayStation Plus essential games for April include a highly rated 80s throwback. This is from Jordan Middler over at Video Games
Who?
Chronicle. I don't know, they're hiring some weird new kid over there. PlayStation Plus essential games for April have been announced. The games are RoboCop Rogue City for PS5, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. Just 3 different phrases.
Mm.
That's the PS4 version. Players can claim these games starting on April 1st, and they will be available until May 5th. I had never really played that RoboCop game, and I should because it looked like
I
a lot of
feel
fun.
bad for not playing the RoboCop game because
Same.
everyone says it's so good.
I bet that runs okay on Steam Deck. I should just install it on there and just play it a little bit. Although maybe it's one I want to have keyboard and mouse for,
Mm.
so I don't know. But yeah, I'll pick that up. And then that Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, we had a lot of fun with that. But I just don't know
Yeah.
how much place there is in the market for multiple of those asymmetrical online multiplayer horror games.
Yeah. I don't have any time to kind of do that at this
Right?
point. Like
If it,
there's too much going for my attention. I think yeah, like 2020 for me that was perfect Lucy time to do all that stuff because I had nothing but time. But now I actually go outside again, and so I don't
yeah,
have. Man, I miss Overwatch though.
yeah. I mean, we played Overwatch again a few weeks back and really enjoyed
Mm,
ourselves. It was a good time.
good
So
game.
I think I did decide I do like this better than Marvel Rivals. Actually, this is a
Mm.
better game.
Hmm.
Although my Marvel Rivals is pretty good. Beat RoboCop on Steam Deck last week. It runs well. Thank you, Marcus, in chat. I appreciate that. Yeah, for something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's like I'm glad I played it. Like it's fun to like have the reference of feeding Grandpa blood or whatever you did in that game. That was a good time. But those games do have to kind of become a hobby. Like this needs
Yeah.
to be like this is what me and my friends do on Friday nights every week, and I like the idea of that. But there's so many, like you said, so many things vying for my time that this is never going to be that for me. All right, that does it for the headlines. Let's get over to the poll question that we asked. Are muted, says chat. Are we coming back,
Oh,
Jan? Can they hear us again? Okay, they
there
can
we
hear
go.
us now. 42% said that they already own it on Xbox or PC, that being Indiana Jones. But 21% said yes, they are going to get it on PS5, and then 37% said no, they are not going to get it on PS5. We'll see if that it does feel like a little bit small, the number. Like, it's 2 to 3 for people on PS5 saying, are they going to get it or not? And I bet once people start playing it and word of mouth gets out in that community, I bet it'll do pretty well. That's
Yeah.
a game I enjoyed a lot. I can't remember. Did you like Indiana Jones?
Oh, I loved it.
That's right.
Game.
Yeah, you really
Like
like.
it's
Yes,
a
the
dim
torches and
sim.
stuff. Yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah, it's a great game.
All right. In that case, I think we have a new poll question we'll get to here in a second. In the meantime, though, Lucy James from your phone, why don't you tell people what you have going on, where they can find you on the internet, and all that good stuff?
So tomorrow, am I good to say what I'm doing tomorrow?
Yes, you are good to say what you're doing tomorrow. We've
Skull
talked
and
about that.
Foams.
It's time you pay for your crimes, Lucy James.
So what am I actually doing? I'm just playing Skull and Bones and Foam Stars.
Yeah, we might come up with some other
Okay, good.
micro punishments within
Okay.
like accomplishments you have to. We'll be there with you to guide you
Okay,
along
good.
and make sure it's as painful as possible.
Okay,
Absolutely.
good. I was gonna say I would not like it to be an easy time for me.
Yes.
So that's tomorrow, 11 a.m. PT. We're recording new Jeffs. What else have I got going on? Whatever y'all wrote me in for.
Yep. No, maybe come out, hang out with us. I'm gonna
Mm.
be playing Schedule One for UPF if you have time. That's that new
Oh, the drug game?
the drug dealing game that's really popping off on Steam. I've been playing it. It's a good time. It's actually really
Yeah.
well made. All right. We'll get to all that fun stuff later this week. In the meantime, new poll question. I wrote that down here. Let me scroll down. There we go. Which direct will have more information about Metroid Prime 4? Switch 1 direct tomorrow. The Switch
Mm.
2 direct on April 2nd. Neither or both. Those are your options. We'll get the results tomorrow.
Yep.
Although I think I guess I didn't really think about the time. By the time we get the answer for this, we will know if it's in that
Yeah.
direct tomorrow or not. But still, we'll discuss the results of that and discuss what's going on in that direct tomorrow on game breaking news. What else do we have happening on this website? In 5 minutes, I will be getting dressed in some weird clothes that Dan Reichert sent me, and I'm
Oh
going to be
boy.
playing Overblood for the PlayStation 1, a game I really don't know what to expect anything from.
No.
They played this apparently on Super Replay way back in the day on Game Informer, like 15 years ago. Tim Turry played it, and a lot of people watched that. And so I've had a lot of people in my mentions and in chat getting very excited about me playing this game. And I want to warn you, like, I'm just not as charming as Tim Turry, so I'm going to get frustrated, and you're not going to enjoy it. In fact, I think we should just cancel the show. That's my opinion.
It's a bit too late for that.
I think we should just cancel it. All right, we have that coming up, and then voicemail dump truck is in the works for this week. Everybody.
Yeah.
We have we're going to be talking to Samoa Joe. I think the calls have already been chosen. So, but if you want to call in with more for next week's show, I guess you can do that now. And then beyond that, just hang out with us for the rest of the week for everything on the Power Block, which continues to chug along. It has been a ton of fun. And if you missed it yesterday, we debuted the travel log that you and Tam and Sean helped to edit of
Yes,
you
thank you,
all in
Sean.
Japan. It's a quick one, right? Just a quick 2-hour vlog.
I think my favorite bit was Sean saying that he had to speed up the crane game section by 500% because there was so much footage that I took of just Francois and Guillaume on the crane machines.
Yep. That's I have not had a chance to watch it because I was like, oh, well, I have to set aside 2 hours. I had the podcast last night, but I got a free night tonight, so I'm gonna check this out. I'm looking forward to it.
It was a fun time.
I imagine I'm mostly gonna be jealous because I've never been to Japan and I want to go.
Gotta change that. It's a great.
One day. Someone in chat asked if I saw this Schreier tweet about the best game he's played in years, and yeah, I think you might be onto something. All right. We did the new poll question. We talked about what's happening. I've not said, Lucy James, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and talking about video games. I really appreciate it.
Always. I'll see you next Wednesday.
Absolutely. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. You are the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself and goodbye.
I'm gonna go fix my mic.